Johnny is in the house today. How are you, buddy?
Hey, I'm doing great, Dane. How about yourself, man?
Show us what you brought.
Yes, indeed. So here we have a 1965 Gretsch Country Gentleman, made famous by a little artist by the name of George Harrison on the Ed Sullivan Show in 1964, right?
George played one of these things.
He certainly did. I think he helped put him on the map, other than Chet Atkins, himself. Pretty rad guitar. I believe the technical number for it is 6122. I think in the Gretsch catalog number of things, just what the 4-digit number associated with this this guitar is just known as from the factory. But what an ordeal this was, man, getting this guitar originally. I bought it online. It needed a lot of work originally. I had it with a few different luthiers here in the Phoenix area until I finally got it in the right hands that could actually do the binding, the justice.
Because it suffered from binding rot.
Exactly, it suffered from binding rot, and although this guitar is in the original case, I would recommend to the new owner, and I will do this in about an hour when I meet up with him, to not store it in this case for any long term, because the binding rot could continue to happen. Just it's a chemical reaction that happens over many years of the guitar sitting in the case. And everybody with an older Gretsch knows that this happens. So this one has been restored.
So this has been completely restored.
Yes.
You finally found a good guy to work on it. So
you knew exactly what
one
he was doing.
luthier had it for 2 years and then just never finished it.
Just never got to it. Yeah, it's been all over the place, but it's got the original factory Bigsby. The Gretsch, had an agreement with them and used these all the time. But the original pickups, I do think, and it is worth noting that I've been told online that this pickup, the neck belongs in the bridge and the bridge belongs in the neck of these numbers. If you guys want to talk about that in the comments, just based on.
So somehow it accidentally, the pickups got flipped.
That's what I've been told. Yeah, that it would have come from the factory with them reversed. That just the luthier that had it most recently just technically didn't put them on exactly as it would have been in '65. But it's also got the mutes, the double mutes that work perfectly with the pads also restored on there. It works great. If you're a Beatles nut, or if you just love that kind of country western kind of rockabilly twang, I mean, you're just not going to find a
They put these pads on there because they didn't really have the palm muting technique down.
No.
Thank you, Metallica, for teaching us that one.
Yeah. Right? Yeah. Yeah.
So let's talk about the master volume.
Yeah.
And then what are these two switches? Pickups on and off?
Yeah.
For each one?
I think those are just the bridge and the neck respectively. I think there might be a master cutoff volume too. But yeah, I'll leave that to you guys, to you Gretsch fanatics out there. I mean, it's wired as it should have been factory. Although I say that, and again, the neck and the bridge pickups are reversed by what some people are saying. So, but yeah, I mean, it's in great shape. It all works as it should, and you've got kind of a restored vintage, wonderful instrument here that's 66 years old.
It just sold on Reverb, and so you're just going to ship it out today. So you just wanted to do one more say goodbye to it kind of a thing.
Yeah, exactly. I just wanted to say goodbye to it. Again, it's such a historic guitar. What a bucket list guitar to have owned one of these from that era. Anything pre-Baldwin era is great. Pre-1967 in the Gretsch world.
What's it say on this plaque right here?
The plaque says, the Chet Atkins Country Gentleman. The serial on this guy is 81142.
Oh, it's got the serial number right there.
It does, yeah, right there on the plaque. So, there you guys
and
go.
I see we have a 0 fret right here. And these inlays are called
thumbnail, I think.
Thumbnails.
Thumbnail inlays, yeah.
Is that what they call it, a thumbnail?
Yeah.
Yeah, because it does look like you got your thumb right there.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So you got to say goodbye to her, huh?
Yeah, just wanted to bring her by the shop, and before she goes to a new home, and I get into some more trouble with my wife.
Oh, she's nice. She's lets cool. You have whatever you want.
Some
guys fall into that where they have to sell a couple guitars in order to get a new one.
Yeah, well, I'm always turning stuff. I got a couple of keepers like the 63 Hummingbird and the 56 ES 175. Those are just stupid cool guitars.
Right.
Off the charts
It's
cool.
weird how the F hole.
It was painted then.
It's just painted on there.
Painted on there, just like George on Sullivan, man.
And we're looking at the original Bigsby.
It's gotta be. It's
Gretsch Bigsby tremolo system there.
It's pretty rad. Lot of history with this guy.
And the bridge is it pinned in place, or does it, if you take the strings off, is that just floating on there?
No, I'm pretty sure it's pinned in.
Is it pinned?
Pretty sure, yeah. I mean, I haven't really had.
They
the strings off
honestly
since
just take a little needle and they shove it down in there, and then they shove the bridge on a needle, and that's why they call it pinned in there.
Huh.
You can see the thumb wheels right here. That
awesome.
adjusts the bridge.
So
All
cool.
right, so I guess in order to really say goodbye to it, you have to plug it in and strum it a little bit for us.
Yeah,
so
we should probably do that. Yeah.
here's the fun part of the video, guys.
Oh yeah, let's do it. Hello, my friends. I am here right now with a 1965 Gretsch Country Gentleman 6122. Pretty fantastic instrument. You know, there's really not enough that can be said about this guitar. I mean, just, you know, when it came out, and you know, obviously Chet Atkins was a major influence, right, in rockabilly, country western. But when 64 came about, February 64, and you guys already know where I'm going with this, but when a 20-year-old guy by the name of George Harrison went on the Ed Sullivan Show in 64, a whole generation, and this cannot be understated enough or overstated. Just the impact that that George had on a whole generation of guitarists and people that realized, holy crap, I could do that. You know, like Ozzy Osbourne, you know, Paul Stanley from Kiss, Gene Simmons. I mean, Tom Petty. You name it. You know, the biggest artists of the world. You know, a lot of them saw George that night on the Ed Sullivan Show, playing this, you know, one of these guitars. I think his was from '62. You know, this one is a '65. But you know, in terms of the guitar world, you know, I've never really had an affair quite like with any other instrument, quite like I have with this one. And I'd love to just explain the whole, you know, endeavor that I went through with this. You know, buying it, knowing that it was in storage for a long time, having the binding rot redone, finding the right luthiers to do it, you know, on their time frame at the right cost, and doing it the right way. I mean, it was just such an ordeal. But I would do it again in a heartbeat, because it restored an instrument that's, you know, 67 years old, and you know, it's going to now survive another 67 years, just like that SG that we did, the white SG. Only this one's got a great neck, no brakes, nothing like that. You know, it's just fantastic. So again, this is going over to a new home, but I'm proud to have come over here to ZIMM'S Guitars today and to show it to my dear friend, and you know, just kind of go over that. And I think, you know, the why behind what we do, you know, like as musicians and collectors and guitarists and such, you know, is such an important thing. And just to take a time out and acknowledge the history, and you know, what that monumental moment for rock and roll. I mean, it really changed in February '64, and I'm holding a piece of that history here, you know, thinking about that. And it's just, what an honor and a privilege and a thrill, you know. It's like, you know, being a teenager again, right? And kind of reliving part of your youth, you know, kind of when you get into cool guitars like this. But it's going on to a new home, and you know, we're all on to a new adventure. But anyway, signing off. Have a great one. Take care, guys.